that music, or he just gets credit for it. And I don't know about Kanye. I think he's kind of one of those guys who gets credit for beats he don't really make.
And we are back live on the Icebreaker Radio Show. It's your host, Chosen. Got my boy Ham Rothstein in the building, D-Dot. You know what I'm saying? We interviewing Traumah and Postman during D-Dot's Producer's Corner. So without further ado, let's continue with this interview. D-Dot, you with us?
Give up-and-coming producers, trying to, live off their beats.
What was the question? You cut out a little bit.
What kind of advice would you give a up-and-coming producer that, wants to eventually live off their beats as a career?
One thing I would learn how to do is market. That's like the key thing, man, is start learning marketing, how to market yourself for the internet, how to put out advertisements. You can get your beats. You don't have that. Click that. They have a free space to put your beats on. Get your website up where people can come and buy your beats. If you don't got that, you already lose. Do that immediately. Then start to market. Learn how to go network, and so you can come back and start. That's the two things to focus on. Put your website up, and then learn how to market. And we got free information at liveoffbeats.com to show you how to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? So you can utilize the internet and start trafficking.
That's what's up, man. Marketing is definitely an important part of, any business. McDonald's, everybody knows about McDonald's, but they don't stop running commercials, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hal, you got the next question.
Well, considering the fact that y'all don't really have any competition out there for production-wise, what artists would you want to work with then? I mean, is there anybody in the industry that's up and coming or that's already out there that you would love to work with or make a beat for? Or do you already have that in the vault? Could you?
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, man, I think there's some great artists out there. I'm almost ready for something new. I'm ready for a whole new movement of music, like a whole new industry. Like the old industry is cool, but it doesn't give me that same spark. Like if I thought about, probably 5 years ago, I could name like 5 or 10 artists I'd love to produce for right now. But it's kind of like where the game is at right now. I couldn't, if I name somebody, it would just be something I'm just throwing out in the air because there's no artists out there right now that I feel super passionate about. I'd say, of course you have artists that are classic, like a Nas or a Jay-Z or maybe even Eminem, or you can maybe even let me produce something for Detox because I'm still a Dre fan, but anybody new, I'm not really, and I hate to sound like a completely old head. I'm not really completely sold on, anybody new. Maybe J. Cole or somebody like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. J. Cole would be a dude I really want. Cause I think he's nasty, man. I think he can do big things. Drake, I would like to do something for Drake too. I think I could bring something out of Drake because he's a good lyricist and rapper. His content is just so mediocre. It's like he don't really talk about nothing. You know what I mean? It's like Disneyland rap. You know what I'm saying? If I can sit down and be like, all right, Drake, let's really get really stuff. And I think I can make Drake. Make one of the nastiest songs with Drake, really bring something real out of him instead of that bubblegum shit he keeps doing.
Well, let me ask this, Traumah. Well, what transition do you think that these guys need to make in rap? Well, what would you like to hear from the people, from these rappers? And what do you think the people like to hear?
As far as like the artists, I'm just tired of the same old, shit, the coonery, man, the females dancing in the videos half naked and all the cars and the jewelry. I think it's really like it's time to really there needs to be an uprising in black consciousness. And I'm not saying every rapper should be a conscious rapper, but they should be conscious of the content that they're putting out there, really. So, if you ask me, I'd love to hear people really talking about stuff that I can relate to or everybody else in the world can relate to, and that has some type of positive message. And I'm not saying like, you know, you have to talk about, you know, being the next Martin Luther King, but talk about something that's going to have an effect on people. Teach me something. When I used to listen to Nas, he's not the most conscious rapper. He still talks about street shit, and I dig that because we're all from the streets. But at the same time, he had me looking and researching shit. You know, even music history. I didn't even know who Donny Hathaway was until I listened to Nas's album. And you know, he teaches people about like ancient Egyptian history in his songs and stuff like that. I love to hear more music like that personally.
Well, what about people like T.I.? Do you think T.I. falls into that category?
I think T.I. is a very intellectual cat. The most, and as a matter of fact, in his later transitions of what he's been talking about on his the last material I heard, I think he was going in that direction, actually. So I say he definitely fits in that category because T.I. will drop some game, man. I remember T.I. in his interview said, hey, if you look around and you see what you don't have, that is because of something that you don't know, you know, and that was real inspirational. I looked at T.I. completely different after that piece of information.
Interesting. Well, hey, I gotta say that I'm impressed with what you guys are doing, all in all together. I run into a lot of guys that say that they're the next great producer, but you don't run into too many guys that say, hey, I have the next greatest batch of sounds for you to listen to. My question for you is more on a producer standpoint, since this is the producer's corner. You mentioned earlier, you know, a lot of guys will use the 808 kit. You know, what kit would you recommend as an alternative that could really fill a track out?
You definitely want to get any of the Traumah drum kits, man. You know, start off with the Traumah drum library, man. I wouldn't even feel right saying any other kit, man. You know, you definitely want to get some Traumah drums in your arsenal, even if it's just a small kit or, you know, a kit that comes with 100 sounds, just to get your ears trained to use sounds differently than just that 808 kit that came out back in the day. And you know, I don't knock. I'm not knocking anybody that still uses it, but you know, it's getting real played out, and it's
I can vouch for Traumah drums, man. I know. Hey, I don't want you to sound like you gassing your own shit up, but man, I've been producing for a long time. You know, I got tracks all over the place, man, and I ain't heard nothing like Traumah drums. I don't use nothing. If it ain't Traumah drums at this point, then I don't use it because it's like they really ain't no other drums out there that's filling up them tracks without stacking a bunch of stuff and all that kind of old stuff, you know. I ain't got time for all that no more. You know, 2011. You either turn over them tracks or you lose money.
Well, let me ask you this real quickly for everybody out there in radio land, because a lot of people go back and they pull up the show archive and listen to it from the podcast or you know, they look us up on the podcast directories and different things like that. So I can definitely promise you guys that people are going to still continue to listen to the show even though we're broadcasting live now. How do they get a hold of you? If somebody says, hey, man, I want everything, or I just want the cheapest thing you got, or if somebody says, I want to get a hold of, you know, Live Off Beats, how do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, definitely as far as Traumah drums, you could just email me, Traumah, Traumah. It's Traumah just with the H at the end, and drums.com. Or trauma@traumahdrums.com. That's the email address. It goes directly to me. I check it every day. Sometimes I check it, you know, all throughout the day, depending on, you know, how frequently I'm getting emails. So that's the best way to contact me. You can also look up Traumah drums on Facebook. You know, so those are two ways you can contact Traumah drums.
All right.
Live Off Beats. Just go to liveoffbeats.com. Postman at liveoffbeats.com is the email. I definitely would go to liveoffbeats.com and sign up for our free newsletter because, you know what I mean, if you go sign up right now, we give out a free interview that I did with Main Event West, who made $62,000 the previous year. Just selling beats on SoundClick. So, you know, we picked his brain and got his information, and so we give that out totally free just to help producers, you know, on their path. So I would go to liveoffbeats.com right now and sign up for that.
Definitely, definitely. Well, we really appreciate you guys stopping by the show. And what I always ask, and D-Dot, don't be mad at me, but can we get a live on-air commitment that you guys will return whenever you have anything new out, or at least reach out and touch us when you have your next event, so we can make sure and let everybody know to come out and support you?
Oh yeah, that's a definite, man. That's why we're on this show, today, man. One thing you'll know about me and Postman, and I can speak for Post on this too, that we're really involved with the community. So, if the community says it needs this, man, if we can't bring it about, we're going to pull it to make it happen. So, we're definitely, you can count on us to be around, man.
Well, that's what's up then. Fellas, any final questions y'all want to get in? Because we got the power hitters in the house tonight.
Nah, just the fact, thank you guys for coming on. Definitely, I've been following y'all for about 2 years now, and, y'all helped me a lot get started. So I definitely want to thank y'all for all the information, and thank y'all for coming on the show.
Oh, no doubt. Appreciate it, man. We love this. I just want to say, man,
yeah.
I appreciate the fact that cats is out here grinding like this, man. You know what I mean? Just I feel good just y'all out here doing it independent, man. So that, to me, that already shows that, it's about to blow up, this independent movement, man. And I really respect what y'all doing highly, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, well, that's what's up, man. Well, we're going to go ahead and hop into this next song. This is by HAP St. Louis. This is Good Girl Day After H. Y'all keep it locked. You listen to Icebreaker Radio.